Good evening and welcome to your Saturday, August 3rd, 2024 edition of the Evening News. I am Jarrell Bryan. Let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. Venezuela's military buildup on border discussed at CARICOM 47th Heads of Government meeting. PBPC government took deliberate measures to cushion international rise in food prices, President Ali. Government to start charging private sector for improper disposal of industrial waste. Local association aims to make hemp a staple product in Guyana. And Guyana Fashion Showcase to kick off on October the 4th. Now for the news in detail. During the recently concluded 47th CARICOM Heads of Government meeting, the Guyana-Venezuela border controversy and the Venezuelan military buildup on the border was one of the issues raised, resulting in the regional bloc expressing its support for Guyana. Here's Michael Henry with our lead story tonight.
The Caribbean community held its 47th Heads of Government meeting from July 28 to July 30 in St. George's, Grenada. During the proceedings, Guyana raised the critical issue of its border controversy with Venezuela, which is unjustly claiming 2/3 of Guyana. Starting from earlier this year, Venezuela has been building up its military presence near Ancoko Island and Guyana's border. This buildup has included them sending troops and equipment, including tanks. They also built a bridge in May of this year, linking Venezuela with the occupied half of Ancoko Island. According to a CARICOM communique, all of these matters were raised with other heads of state during the meeting. Specifically, Guyana's concern that this military buildup poses a threat to regional peace and security was noted by CARICOM. CARICOM also took note of where both sides currently were in the case before the International Court of Justice. CARICOM reiterated its support not only for the ICJ to resolve the matter, but also for the sovereignty and territory of Guyana to be maintained. Guyana submitted its memorial on the case to the ICJ since March 2022, with Venezuela given until April 2024 to submit its own counter-memorial. It did so on the very last day. As it is now, Guyana and Venezuela have been given until December 9, 2024 and August 11, 2025, respectively, to make a second round of written submissions. Michael Henry, The Evening News.
Food prices have been steadily rising on the global market, and Guyana, like many other countries, are being impacted by this. But President Dr. INT'L has pointed out that Guyana was nevertheless able to weather the storm through careful measures rolled out by his government. Here are the details.
During an address to the nation on Friday, President Dr. INT'L spoke on an issue of crucial importance to Guyanese, the cost of living. Ali pointed to the sharp rise in international food prices during 2021-2022, which coincided with the COVID-19 pandemic.
From the production side, there was limited production because farmers were not going to the farm, factories were not open, agro-processing plants were not open. And then from the raw material side, the supply was also limited. So we went through those years dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic and the consequential effect. And remember, these are years between 2020 to 2022. Outside of that, what we saw stimulus packages, interest rates cut, and this is what our government did. In response, as soon as we came in, not only did we have to find billions of dollars to build a COVID-19 facility, to have the vaccines available, but we also had to create stimulus packages, cut interest rate, direct financial support to individuals, businesses, and families.
On top of the COVID-19 pandemic contributing to inflation, the world also had to contend with the Russia-Ukraine war and the Middle Eastern conflicts. These back-to-back crises had resulted in inflation spiking in as many as 179 countries, including Guyana.
Let's look at what is happening globally, the overall inflation figures. According to a recent article by Global Finance, inflation spiked in 179 countries of 194. Of 194 countries, in 179 countries, inflation spiked. And let us look at some of the regions and the effect. Developed countries such as the United States, United Kingdom, recorded inflation rates that reached a 40-year high in 2022. A 40-year high in 2022. In 2022, inflation rate in Canada was the highest since 1983. The European Union also recorded the highest inflation rate in 4 decades during 2023. Meanwhile, the inflation rates of the largest economies in Latin America reached a 15-year high during 2022.
Despite these worldwide increases in inflation, which resulted in Guyana importing much of these price hikes, the government took deliberate steps to mitigate this. Government provided direct support to farmers, lowered taxes on items critical to the agri-sector, increased public sector wages, and implemented cash grants. Further, President Ali assured that even more strategies would be rolled out before the end of 2024. As a matter of fact, President Ali compared the global and regional inflation hikes with Guyana's own, noting that Guyana did a commendable job managing its own inflation.
When the inflation rate is rising in these countries, and in China, in India, and we have to import, when the cost of production is going up, the cost of transportation is going up, we are importing that inflation. We are importing those rising costs. But what we have done as a government very successfully, a model that is now being looked at, is a type of measures that we put in place to cushion that inflationary cost, that rising cost, so that the effect was not transferred to the consumer. When you look at the inflation rate for Guyana compared to all of these regions, it is just remarkable the way we have been able to manage our economy, the way we have been able to cushion this cost, and the way in which we implemented measures that targeted directly and indirectly, first, the increase in production, two, to disallow the transfer of the inflated prices to the consumer, and fourthly, to ensure that the most vulnerable in our society were protected.
Jarrell Bryan, The Evening News.
In keeping with the government's goal to ensure the country remains clean, the Public Works Ministry is moving to charge business owners for the improper disposal of waste products. This holistic approach will be undertaken in collaboration with the Guyana Police Force and the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, among other stakeholders. Find out more in this report.
On Friday, Minister within the Public Works Ministry, Deodat Indar, met with the chairman of the National Enhancement Committee of the Private Sector Commission, Guyana Manufacturing and Services Association, the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and the Chinese Association of Guyana to urge its members to dispose of their commercial waste responsibly. Present at the meeting were also Solid Waste Director for the Georgetown Mayor and City Council, Walter Narain, and City Councillors Don Singh and Stephen Jacobs. During the engagement, they were informed of government's plan to implement the enforcement plan, which will require the Environmental Protection Agency to conduct continuous patrol and surveillance monitoring. Minister Indar said the move will address the issue of piles of garbage in unoccupied areas, street corners, and waterways. He explained that Guyana cannot be the fastest growing economy and tourists are being greeted with the unpleasant sight of garbage in public spaces.
We have this cleanup on the 17th. But it can't be this way all the time, that, the president with the rake, the ministers out there cleaning people garbage. Some private sector folks come and help, they bring their trucks, the thing, we load it up. There's not one garbage cleanup that we did, that we have not taken over 100 truckloads out of the city. There's not one single one. That must be the minimum. It's not just the city. Let me make it clear. It's everywhere. All the townships have this problem. But in the Georgetown, the main capital city, where most commerce, most visitors come and go and travel around and eat and line in the nights and so, is where there's the most build-up of garbage.
Meanwhile, GCCI President Kester Hudson has pledged support for the move, noting that enforcement is a critical aspect which is lacking in the current system.
We've always been supporting the government, but we want to ensure that coming out of this meeting, we have an action plan. The low-hanging fruits, what will happen next, the chamber will support it, and more so from the enforcement standpoint. We've already started to do the education aspect of things, but let's deal with the enforcement aspect of things. If members are guilty of such actions, let them be dealt with accordingly. And we've always took that position.
Further, an extensive public relations campaign to educate the public about littering and its harmful effects on the environment will soon be launched. Jarrell Bryan, The Evening News.
Coming up, Southern for new trust company head office and $475 million Cemetery Road project 90% completed, INT'L.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Sadco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.
Welcome back. You're watching the Evening News. Trust company Guyana Limited marked a significant milestone on Friday with a sod-turning ceremony to commence construction of its new office building on Brickdam, Stabroek, in the heart of the city. With a rich history of over 58 years, Trust company Guyana Limited has been a key player in the financial sector, providing a broad range of services such as traditional trusteeship, mutual funds, estate planning, stock brokerage, commercial credit, investment, and wealth management. Chairman of the Board of Directors, Komal Samaru, has emphasized that the new building will solidify the company's market position and enhance customer experience and employee convenience. The project is expected to be completed by the end of 2025. Tricia Sobers joins us now to report that with additional contractors now on board, works on the $475 million Cemetery Road project are moving apace, with Public Works Minister INT'L assuring that the pertinent piece of infrastructure will now be completed in 4 days. Here is more.
4 sections of the Cemetery Road project are being undertaken simultaneously by 3 subcontractors who were recently hired to help Avinash Construction and Metal Works complete the extremely delayed project. The scope of works at the site include the construction of 2 bridges, installation of culverts at Sussex Street, and widening of the road from 2 lanes to 4 lanes. Upon completion, paving will commence from the police outpost to Lane Avenue with an expected completion timeline of Tuesday. During a site inspection on Saturday, Minister of Public Works INT'L expressed that he is satisfied with the quality of work and effort of the contractors so far. He explained that in a matter of a week, the project has moved from 70% to 90% completion.
This project has been a nuisance, or I should say its delay has been a nuisance to people who should have been benefiting. We made a decision that we have nominated subcontractors because it was clear that the main contractor was unable and lacked the capacity to deliver this project. And the nominated subcontractors under his contract have been delivering well. We have moved this project in 11 days from 70% to over 90%. And we're going to get this delivered very, very shortly.
In fact, the minister is optimistic that the project will be completed in 4 days. To ensure the project stays on schedule, the ministry has assigned a senior engineer to support the current project engineer. Agile noted that the construction pace and activities are being closely monitored to prevent any delays. The contract for the Cemetery Road project was awarded in 2022 and caters for a 2-lane carriageway being extended into 4 lanes. However, the project suffered significant delays owing to heavy rainfall and procurement challenges. The government has since pursued liquidated damages from the contractor for delays suffered in the execution of the contract. Trishelle Sobers, Evening News.
We now tell you that the Guyana Hemp Association has expressed their vision of having hemp be a staple product in Guyana. Michael Henry caught up with some of the association's representatives at an expo hosted along Main Street today and filed this report.
What we would like to see happen is a made in Guyana stamp, meaning we can grow it from the ground, we can grow it from our soil, and then manufacture it in a manufacturing plant here in Guyana, sold here in Guyana, and exported as a Guyana product.
That was Secretary of the Guyana Hemp Association, Cord Gomes, during an interview with the Evening News at the Hemp Expo on Main Street in Georgetown on Saturday. According to Gomes, Guyana can possibly be the breadbasket for hemp in the Caribbean.
Currently, hemp is produced in a lot of different countries. India, the Netherlands, even neighboring Suriname had a small but hemp industry, and I think they're still trying to get it back going. But you know, Guyana here, they say we're the breadbasket, and we can definitely be the breadbasket for hemp as well. We can literally be the largest hemp producer in the Caribbean region.
Meanwhile, at the expo, various items made from hemp were showcased.
So hemp is also possess a medicinal purpose, meaning it's good for medicine, and that's the CBD part of it. Not limited to, but cancer, pain, sleep deprivation, anxiety, inflammation, etc. Hemp can not cure, but help, ease, and it's a natural alternative. So hemp blocks can be made from the hemp fiber part of the plant, and it's water resistant, it's fire resistant, it's also good for the atmosphere, and it's lighter than concrete. So you can use that, and it's a better product to use to build your house with other than concrete.
The Industrial Hemp Act, ratified by the government in August 2022, paved the path for the legalization of industrial hemp in Guyana and created new business and agricultural prospects for local farmers. Hemp is a multi-billion-dollar industry that can lead to the production of hundreds of items. Some uses for hemp include ropes, textiles, clothing, shoes, food, and belts. I am Michael Henry, reporting for the Evening News.
Castellani House will soon be transformed for the Guyana Fashion Showcase, where numerous fashion enthusiasts will compete for various prizes. Here's Michael Henry again with this story.
It's going to be October 4th. We're officially on the Cricket Carnival calendar. So one of the events to look out for during that celebration is Guyana Fashion Showcase, which would be held this year at the Castellani House in Georgetown, Guyana, Friday, October 4th.
That was Director of the Guyana Fashion Showcase, Michelle Cole-Warner, during a recent press conference giving details about the highly anticipated Guyana Fashion Showcase. According to Warner, applications are already opened.
The applications are already out for student designers between the ages of 13 and 18 to submit their applications. We will be selecting between 6 and 10 of those applications to actually produce 2 pieces that will be on show at the Guyana Fashion Showcase. And the winner, we'll have them, they'll be judged by past FAC students. Whoever has the best designs, they will be getting a prize, sewing machines and cash prizes.
Meanwhile, CEO of Guyana Fashion Showcase, Philbert Ginnings, revealed the various fashion icons who will be present at the event.
Randy Madrid is one of the designers from Guyana. We're going to have Mwanza Glenn. We confirmed last night with Sydney Francois, we have David Roll coming from the Bahamas, and we have from New York, some other designers that's going to be flying in.
The Guyana Fashion Showcase was launched in 2019. Michelle Henry, The Evening News.
And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbour Bridge will be closed to vehicular traffic on Sunday, August 4, 2024 at 4 hours for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Bobis River Bridge will be closed to vehicular traffic on Sunday, August 4, 2024 at 16 hours 55 for a period of 1.5 hours.
Archibald finished 8th in Olympic heat and 2 called up from West Indies champs 11 as warm-up match drawn. Details of this story coming up in the Sportscast, sponsored by McCorp.
Guys, I think I'm in love! Wow!
Yeah, I was looking at you too.
What? What are you talking about? I'm in the tiles. Where did you get them?
Oh, Mima Decor, obviously the best tile store in Guyana. Come, let me take you there.
My kitchen, my bathroom, my floors. Mima Decor has everything. And the prices are great too.
So, yeah, I want to have a date now.
We can build on that.